Hello, I'm Czardus, and let's play City Skylines. Welcome to Ludington. So this is the first episode in this new unmodded series, and we're going to talk a little bit real quick about what we're going to do in this series. First of all, what I want to do is I want to have an unmodded series to go alongside my modded series of Bremmerdale. And what I mean by unmodded is that I will not be using any mods that affect the game at all from the workshop, or even graphics mods. I don't have those applied. So we won't use anything like that until after we unlock all of the milestones in the game. Now, will have custom content. As you can see, we have custom trees here, but I am limiting that to one custom asset in the collection per episode. Although right now we are a little bit behind that target because what we have is a custom map, which I will show you a little bit more in a moment, a custom theme, and like I said, those custom trees. Now the map itself is called Ludington. It is created by Mr. Miyagi with a lot of input from me so that we could get exactly what I wanted to do in the series. And what we can see, actually, I'm going to have to come out here because we don't have anything turned on, or we don't have the mods that I can show you the whole map. But let's see how well I can describe this to you. We have a bit of a terrain difference here with some of our rivers, but what we're aiming for is a Midwest American city. And what I really want to do is build a city kind of how it would have developed in the American Midwest. And the idea is that I want it to be something that you could feel could be anywhere in the Midwest, from, say, Indiana all the way west to Kansas, and anywhere from Missouri all the way up to Minnesota. But I do have a specific area in mind that we've fictionalized a little bit, and that is kind of central Illinois, in that what I've done with these rivers is we're going to assume this one, the water flows down this direction, and we're going to assume that river makes its way to the Mississippi eventually, and then this river comes from kind of eastern Illinois or Indiana. This river goes up towards Chicago and Lake Michigan, and then this river over here goes out towards western Illinois. So that would make this area a pretty popular spot for early fur traders and things like that, people that are trying to get through on the rivers, because that was the major form of transportation. And so that's kind of why the city started here. Then we're going to kind of build this in different eras. We're going to focus first today on what the city looked like in that very early era. And then we're going to go on to an era where the railroad started to come in, and then move on from there with different eras in the city development. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. So what I want to do is I want kind of a fort to be up on this hill. We're not actually going to build the fort because we're building the roads based on when they were developed in the era, but there are some things that we can't build, like a fort. But I think this would be a pretty strategic spot for the fort. So anybody coming on these rivers would have to come down this way, and then they'd go by here. This fort could easily defend against anybody trying to go through these, or like control the waterway a bit. But the issue that we have is anybody coming over here, we've got a waterfall there, so they're going to have to get on land to get around the waterfall. And I think what they would do, so this goes up into Rocky, they want to come down over here, so they either want to come out here and try and get on land here, or they want to come here and then they're going to have to cross over there as well, which I think is more likely because over here the water would be going a bit faster for that waterfall. So what we're going to assume is that they had to come up here and cross over that way. Another reason why this fort would be in control of the waterway. So what we're going to do is, to get this started, we're going to build our small one-way, and then we're going to, a small regular road, and then we're going to switch to dirt roads. And we're going to assume, like I said, that the fort is up there, and that they had to come this way. So a road is going to develop that goes from this little beachy type area, or shore, riverfront, we'll just call it that, up to here. Now, these are cliffs, clearly, so we're not going to build a road through there. But here we have another, that's a pretty steep hill, as is this one, which isn't quite as steep, and we might be able to get a road like at this angle. But I think what's most likely is that the road is going to go this way, although this is pretty steep here too. All of the roads are rather steep, or like all of the paths. They could have come around this way and then come up. I think, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the road through here at an angle. So we're going to assume that it comes out this way. And then we're going to come up like that. Just come right on up this hill. Now we've kind of built a little bit of a cliff there, and there's nothing we really can do about that. That's just how it would have come out. But then we're going to have the fort here. And what I want to do is we're going to get kind of a straight line road here. And this can be a curve just right into the road that's kind of in front of the fort. Like that. Alright, so then the fort is going to be right in there. We'll get a road that goes that way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build a grid in here that's going to be a pretty tight grid, because this was built in the early 19th century when buildings were pretty small and they wanted a lot of roads. We're going to do a 6x6 grid in this kind of historical part of town. Like that. Then this will come down, and we're just going to get a tiny bit of grid in here, and this is going to be the historic district. There, that is perfect. We'll get 4x2 in terms of the total grid on here. Yeah, there we go. So they would have built this grid pretty quickly in order to just kind of fill out a little village to support the fort and kind of traders that are coming by. Now, another thing we're going to do is we're going to have this road come out over here. And let's see, that's all cliff as well. So I think the other portage, or the other ford, is going to be like right over here. So that road originally would have gone... Actually, let's do this at an angle like this. Like that. And actually, it has a weird curve to it. It's not quite a straight angle. But I think it heads right in that direction pretty well. So then, let's go ahead and take these out just so that we can see this grid. Okay, I think that's going to work for our historic district area. And what we'll do eventually is we'll add more out this way. In fact, we'll go ahead and do that now. This could come down like that. Get one more square in there. Like that, I think. We've got some weird roads going on over here, which we could actually bring this down like that. There. That works. So that is the original town. Okay, now to get this going, we're going to need a few things. First of all, we also want to bring a road. Well, so this goes down that way. But what I want to do is we're going to put our starting industry down here, just because that seems like the best spot to put it. Eventually, I want it over here by this rail yard, and more up here. We're going to have some industry areas over there, and then we'll have smaller industry pockets everywhere as well, like all over the place. But anyway, what we're going to do then, in order to get this city functional, we're going to bring this road out like this, and then up the hill here, like that. Yeah, that can come down there. I do want one more to come out this way. And that'll be a pretty straight road as well. Like that. Okay. So then what we need is we need a power plant. We're going to get a coal power plant just back in here. We'll get some roads built in here as well, and that should probably be a grid. But it's hard to do a grid when you can't see, when the squares don't line up as well as you'd hope. But anyway, let's get this right in here. So now we have power. We need water, and our rivers are pretty shallow, so we're not going to take much water from the rivers at all. We're going to do them almost exclusively in water towers, and we'll get a water tower right in this little triangle here. I think that seems to be a logical spot. And we'll get a drain pipe as far over here as we can. Eventually we're going to need to figure out a good system for getting rid of our water that will not end up polluting the river system all that much. But we're going to come down this way with the pipe. Then we'll come down this way as well. Like that. Just connect there, and then I think we have everything we need to just add a bit of zoning. So we're going to get some stuff in here. Oh, we need power lines, right? We're going to bring this pretty much straight this way. Okay, let's go ahead and speed up the game here. Let some people move in, get that power spreading all the way over to the other side, because then we are going to come in and get a power line that goes like that, and hopefully that will connect. So this is not quite connecting. We're going to do that. So now they have power. We have an autosave going on. I'm going to have a little bit of coffee here. And okay, maybe I won't quite have coffee yet. We'll put that there, and now our sewage is all connected. Now, commercial. I'm going to put commercial right up here, kind of by where the fort was. And that is our initial district there. Okay, so now that is pretty much filling in with the residential. Let's pause it and talk about the next step. Got my coffee there. Okay, so what we're going to do now, this is the original area that was built before 1850. Then they started to see more rapid expansion, especially as their railroads started to spread west. And what we're going to do next is we're going to have a grid system that is based on the Public Land Survey System, which was developed in the United States towards the end of the 18th century as a way to kind of divvy out the land as they grew. And what we have here on this road goes straight north and south, and it is going to be our meridian. So all of the land surveyed in the area is going to be off of this road. And what that means is we're going to have different sections that are 200 zoning squares by 200 zoning squares, which is pretty much a tile. But we're going to start with this here and then that there. I don't know where the other end is going to end up, but what we are going to do is we're going to have a grid kind of come off of that, I think, eventually. I think what we'll do is on this side and down here it'll be that way, but here we're going to stick with this original grid a little bit more. But I'm not going to have it be that tight. We're going to go to 8 by 8 ideally, which is going to be hard because of that. So now maybe what we do is we come off of this one. What would that look like if we did, say, a road here and put in another road here, and then came back this way? See, now that road, the fact that it's not straight is bothering me now. So we're going to redo that road. I want this to be, although now we could come down this way. See, we need, okay, so the road is going to go that way. Like that, I think. But I don't want, okay, I'm thinking a little bit here. So it needs to come off of here. Maybe we just stick with this. This comes down this way. And then we start doing our 8 by 8 grid here. That's too big. That's 8 by 8. So that gets down that way. This goes down here. Then where does this come out? That's 8 by 8. That's 8 by 8. Can we get one more in here? That's a pretty good spot. And that's 8 by 8. So we can come down here like that. And you just have like this little road issue, kind of the grids change down there. But I think this is going to work kind of the way that I intended. So this can come down here. Gonna have to redo that power line, which is fine. Bring it right over like that. Okay. Then we'll get this road here. Yeah, that'll work for this little area in here. And then, like I said, when we get to these main roads, we're going to change the grid to be more north-south. But we're going to assume that, like, they wanted to spread out quick, and so they just used the existing system that they had in place. Now, we do need to connect. This can come, oh, let's get a road. Let's find this road. Right there. That goes there, and then that can go there like that. So now we are connected again to the road system. In fact, this one could come down here as well. Although it doesn't quite make it. So this is our little entrance here. We're going to have traffic issues. There's no doubt about it. But one of the main things about city planning is dealing with traffic issues that come up. And that is what we're going to do. I think that is definitely part of how cities developed. They were dealing with different traffic problems that came up. So let's go ahead and put the grid there, or the water grid there. Alright, so now we can speed this up again and let more people come in. So we should have a bit of zoning filling in now. Oh, we need some industry. Okay, let's get a little bit more of a grid through here and just toss a little bit of industry in here. Really don't want a lot, but I also know that we kind of need it to get the city going. So we're going to put some in. And I think this whole area down here will be redeveloped pretty early in the series. I'm not sure that we're going to keep industry here, essentially. I don't think the industry would be here in the factory era, like after railroads arrive. But, and we wouldn't have real factories back before railroads. So that's why I'm hesitant about having too much there. But I do want to get us to the first milestone, which should be pretty soon. That is at 400. And there we are. Alright, so we have reached the first milestone. That is where we will leave it today. I'm going to leave this and pause. But yeah, so that is the first episode of Ludington. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you didn't, well, that is too bad. But either way, I had a great time. I hope you did as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.